Hi, good morning. I've got a few things to share with you this week. I had a busy weekend. I got to go to a wool fair show, for want of a better word, and also to a doll's house show in York. And that is what this video is like, as you've seen from the thumbnail. Now, here's a little leaflet. This is where I went. We'll have a look at this top down as well. And here is a bag of goodies. Now, we didn't actually stay that long, and it was very busy actually, so sometimes it was really hard to get to the stalls, which was a little bit frustrating, but I did get some things. I was really pleased because quite often the Doll's House fairs, it's gorgeous artisan things, or it's 1/12, or it's typically sort of big companies. The products are from big companies as well, and they're nearly all 1/12, and I want some vintage things, as you know, because of the houses I've got. And I was super pleased to find some vintage and some vintage lumby and some little bits and bobs that would actually work for my 1/16 scale. So I was super pleased with that. So I didn't spend a huge amount. I had a limit. I bought what I wanted, and I got a couple of bargains in the process. So we're going to go top down and have a look at what I got. Please let me know if you've got these things. Please come and say hello, have a little chat down below. I love to hear from people, and I do try and make a point of answering you all as well. And if you do enjoy the channel, please like, subscribe and share. And let's go top down. I've not even had a proper look at these yet, so I'm a little bit excited about getting into them. Just need to sort the house out now though, and that includes the doll's house and my house, but there we go. I think I just like buying sometimes rather than doing, but I must get myself organised because the way time is going this year, I keep saying I would like to do the big one ready for Christmas, the one with the little Sylvanian family that I'm going to put in there, and there's a little thing in here which will help with that Christmas theme. So let's go top down. I'll see you in a second. So here are my goodies from the Doll's House fair. Now, where did I put that leaflet? I put it somewhere, didn't I? I think I put it over to one side. I did. It's behind me. Right, so as I mentioned, this is where I went. It was the York Doll's House and Miniature Fairs. It says 8th of June, that's when we went. And there's a little bit of more information in there. There was a couple of talks. This was the actual layout, and these were the exhibitors. One thing I will comment on though, years and years ago when I first started collecting, that exhibitors list would have been threefold. I can remember I actually had a stall myself at one of them at York. I mean, we're talking 15 years ago plus. And it was like a 3-story event then. It's 2-story event now. It is still lovely though, some gorgeous things and some amazing artisans. Thing is, a lot of that isn't something I want as much as they are absolutely stunning, but yeah, otherwise it was great to just have a nosy anyway. So that's where we went. Now, as you can see here, these are what I didn't show you. I have some wallpapers. Now, they do have a stall there that people have donated things to. And it's for, I think it was breast cancer charity. It was either cancer or breast cancer. I think it was breast cancer. I didn't really look at that sign that much. But basically, they sell the things off for the charity. Now, that stall was so insanely busy, which was great for the charity, but you could not get in anywhere. The only bit I got into was where this wallpaper was. Let me move the bag there a minute. Now, if you do collect things like this, wallpaper can be expensive. Well, comparatively expensive. I know it's still only a few pound or so, but I just paid 50p a sheet for these, and because they're quite sort of got a vintagey vibe, I was really pleased. I thought I've got some like living room, bedroom. I thought that'd be quite nice for a kitchen. I actually do have that in blue that I did buy from a company. So I'm really pleased. I think that one's really pretty, proper little bedroom. So I thought it was super cute there. But 50p a sheet was amazing. And like I said, the money goes to charity, which is also amazing. So that's the wallpaper that I got, which was not something I expected to get, but quite the bargain. And then let's move on to our bag. Now, I've put all the different things in one bag. So this is lots of little tiny bits. Make sure they're all out of the bag. They are. So I mentioned wanting to get my house done for Christmas, and that there was something that would work for the Christmas. And here it is. Now, my daughter already has one of these, little peek. And when I bought it for her, I'm like, oh, I really want one for myself. But it's vintage. It's get it when you can. And here it is. How cute is that? Now, this is a lumby. This is an old vintage one. As you can see there, it says Lumbee Christmas tree, and you can see how much I paid. £7 is really quite a good price. Now, yes, there is the topper missing. It should be a star, not the end of the world. And there is a couple of little details missing. In fact, I think there's only, is it one? Might only be one. I think it's probably a candle that's missing there. I can't see any other bits missing sort of immediately. This is still the original paper, but I did actually make a little Christmas tree skirt, so I can pop that over that anyway. So it's just plastic base. But yeah, I'm so pleased with it. I could probably make a little candle. It's only a tiny little bit of plastic. We could work that one out. I can't see. I thought for some reason there was a bauble missing, but I can't see now that I'm looking. That's okay. That's good if there isn't one missing. And I will need to sort out a star. But that is going to be the start for the Christmas in this house that I'm going to get sorted. I've asked my husband if he'll get the roof repainted and the sides, because he seems to be better at that than me, or he's got more patience. Although I'm saying that, more patience, but I actually like the fiddly bits, not the big bits. So I'll get him to do that. Super pleased, I got my Christmas tree that I've been wanting. And as you can see, we have a little bit of mishmash here. These are all vintage bits and pieces. Absolutely. Oh, I'm saying no idea who this is, but there is a label. This is a doll toy. Now, I know I discussed in the past, I'm very confused about all these brands because they all seem to cross over. But this looks like it's been stuck to a wall or something at some point, because it's just a bit of glue, but you won't see that anyway. Needs a little clean up. No, I'm not going to paint it. I think I'm just going to clean it up, make sure, you know, everything's in place. Those nails are sticking up a little bit, so they could need pushing down. But yeah, I think this is just sort of dirt as it's gone. I mean, it happens, doesn't it? I mean, it's hard enough to keep the things clean sometimes. So we've got little doors in there. So yeah, just to clean up, and I think that one's going to come up lovely. £4 bargain. I think that was a bargain anyway. So what else have we got? Oh, this was a different stall holder. This is a tiny weeny tea set. How cute is that? I'm going to say the word cute a lot. We need a cute one in, don't we? But sometimes you see these little tea sets, and again, they're that slightly bit bigger that are working more towards 12th scale. But I think they are going to work nicely because they look slightly smaller. I think they look smaller anyway. And I just love the images, the flowers, again, slightly vintage vibe there. So that was another one. Right, what we got? We'll just work from the top down. I got a couple of carpets from somebody. Always need carpets because I like to actually do a lot of my floors like wooden floors or tiled floors in the houses. And then so rugs are perfect. I do need to get my act together and make some. I was going to make some little crochet ones, you know, like for the kitchen area and things, but I've not got that done. As always, I'm so far behind things. Now this was the price. I'm sure that's what that was. That was £1, and I'm not quite sure what that was. £3. I think that was £3, but they were quite cheap. They were just like in a rummage box, so I'm really happy with those. So there's a couple of rugs. So we need plenty of rugs. Whoa, where are we going? TV. As you can see, it's a 1960s television. Now I have a few TVs already that I am waiting to show you because I'm wanting to do. I don't think I can get in this. I think it's sellotape. I'm wanting to repair a couple, so I wanted to sort of show the repair as well. Oh, that is definitely stuck together there. I'll find some scissors. I mean, it's good. They've made it secure, but I don't know how you're supposed to get in it. Right, I'm going to get my scissors, which are in a drawer next to me. So it'll only take a minute. I just need to move my smart doll because she's sat on top of that box. Pop her back. There we go. Make sure she's not going to fall off. So let's just cut through it, shall we? And look at that. I just thought it was cute. It's a Bush TV. It's a little bit different from the others I've got. It's just simple plastic. But I just thought it had that, again, vintage vibe. Well, it's all got vintage vibe because that's really what I'm buying for. So I'm pleased with that because that's very different from the other TVs that I've got. So we've got a TV. Should we go for the bigger things? I'm sure you can see what this was. This is a Lumbee fire. They've just gone fire. I didn't read that bit. I found out afterwards. Log basket and tools. She did give me those as well. I just saw the fire and I thought, well, £10. I've been looking at some on Vinted and some of them have been about that price, but they've either had this bit missing or this bit has been broken or the paper's all peeling off, because it is only a paper. You can see there a little bit of a peel, but it's not damaged on the top, which is what I was bothered about. So I thought it was cool to have a corner one. I have other fireplaces, but a corner one I think is a little bit different. So £10 I think was about the right price as I saw it, but then because I passed it over to pay, and she went, oh no, there's some other bits. So there's also little fire irons and also a little bucket, which does look like it's got its handles missing, but it's still a cute little bucket. My daughter did a quick bit of research, and apparently this actually goes, it's still Lumbee, but it goes with one of the old sort of later 70s ones rather than this one, but it still looks great, doesn't it? I'm really pleased with that, and it was an exact one I was looking for, so that's always great when you find something that you've been wanting. Now I got this little fireplace. This was just £4, as you can see. And again, I like that, I don't know, what would we say? 40s, 50s look, you know, as if that's all tiled. And I love the colour because it's green, of course I do. It is missing a little fire. Not quite sure what to do there. My husband reckons I ought to do it like little logs. But did they have those sort of fireplaces? I need to do some research. Or would we have been leaning towards an electric fire? I'm not sure. I don't know what would fit there. If any of you know what it would have originally been. I mean, that one's logs, as you can see, and this one could be logs. I could put little logs and make it sort of like embers and things like that, but I really don't know. It was just the shape of it. I just love the shape, love the colour, and £4 I thought was quite a deal. So that's that. Now we come to the tiny bits. Now that's a paper bag that's totally empty. I think that is what that was in, wasn't it? So we can get rid of that paper bag, and let's see what's in this paper bag. Lots of rustling there. Now when I've kept them in a bag, it means I've got them from a seller. So here we get a little dog bed. Well, I've actually got it for a little pussycat bed, but it is meant to be a little dog bed. I thought that was cute. Got a nice little pink cushion in there, and to go in it, as I say dog bed, but I've got it for a little cat. I mean, my cat always used to sleep in the dog's bed, so I think that works out nicely. Ta-da! So I'm not quite sure who's having that. It might be my little Ari dolls. They get a little pet pussycat to go in there. Probably a rather large pussycat for them, but it was about the smallest I could find. So I was happy with that one. Oh, I'm throwing it down. And also from the same seller, I got these. Again, I'm not going to be able to get in it. Oh, there we go. There's a knack to these bags, isn't there? And these are little sort of, they call them fire dogs, I think, or they're sort of usually flat backed. I mean, these aren't really like that properly, but yeah, they go on a vintage fireplace or a Victorian fireplace even. So we're older than vintage there. Vintage, that shows how often I go on vintage. I'm not saying vintage anymore, I'm saying vintage. So yeah, little dogs there to go on a fireplace. So again, cute. And what could go between them is a little clock, a little mantle clock. Again, there were loads and loads and loads, but they were all bigger. And as I say, I'm going to have to get scissors on this. I was wanting smaller items to fit, because I know you think, oh, 1/16, 1/12, there's not that much. There's actually quite a lot when you come to have a look at it. So we've got just a little red clock there. I like the colour of that. And as you saw on the bag, what did I pay? £1.75. I like a bargain. And I just think that would look nice sort of between those. I don't think it would work for that fireplace, but yeah, that's an idea of what it would be like. Although it does actually look quite nice on that fireplace, but I think it needs a slightly grander fireplace for those. Now, a couple of last things that I got, which are very delicate, and I'm really destroying these bags. It's not working. You can see I paid £4 for this, which was a little bit more, but I think it's sometimes worth it for some things, because the scale of this is just amazing. Can you see that? We have a little candle holder. It's also got a little snuffer on the side. It is metal for the base. Not sure what the candle is, whether that's metal and painted, but again, it's tiny. I would say that's too small for 1/12. I think it's just perfect for what I'm looking for, so that's why I went for that one. And then this was just a little vase, which I thought was nice. It's got a little grape pattern on there, which is actually raised. I don't know how well you can see that, but it is actually a raised pattern on there. So these are the sort of little bits like these that make the house a home. I mean, I'm a long way from sorting my doll's house out into that, but these are all in preparation. Now my last bag again is a bit of a homey one. I got in that bag easy. And this one, what did I pay for this? I paid £4.50 for this, but I do think it is worth its money because look at the tiny details in there. We have a fruit bowl, and again it's smaller, which will work for the 116. So we've got bananas and orange, some little size. That's great. Imagine making all those little tiny bits there. I mean, I can play about with a bit of Fimo and make a few things, Fimo, Fimo, whichever way you want to say, polymer clay, we'll call it that. I can do some things with it, but sometimes it's just not worth the effort. Not when you can buy it at that price. Now I think I think it's plastic. So I just tapped it on my teeth then, which really shouldn't do that, but you can usually tell them whether it's glass or plastic. I think it's plastic, but that's okay. It's going to be more sort of safer for when I drop it on the floor, like I always do. But look at that. That is gorgeous, isn't it? So this is my little collection. Obviously my wallpapers, and let me pull it all in there. So I've got my carpets and I've got my TV, and I am so happy with what I got. And so my husband did keep saying, oh, why don't you get one of them? Why don't you get one of them? It has to really appeal to me, or like with this and this, it was something that was on my wish list, so that was so perfect. I could have spent a load more, but I wanted to be good. We were going into York afterwards, so we went into York and had some lunch there and a little nosy round. My husband likes to go in the antique centres. Well, I like to go in the antique centres as well, but he looks for specific things. So we went in the antique centres and the charity shops and all that. And surprisingly, I didn't really come out with much. Well, I did one thing. I got one thing, which was a little bird, a little Beswick, or Beswick, however you want to pronounce that as well. Bird in an antique centre. It was a little greenfinch. Super cute. But apart from that, I was actually quite well behaved, so I didn't overspend, but I had been to the wool fair the day before, so you know, you got to be careful. So that is my doll's house haul. Please pop a comment, please like, etc, etc. You know what it does. And I'll see you all very soon, because I've got my wool one to do, I've got a doll one to do, I've got a Temu one to do. Oh, I've made lists. The reason I've made lists is because I'm having surgery on my ankle at the end of July, and I wanted to get everything sort of prepped. So I've got a list of all these different things I need to sort out. So hope you enjoyed that. See you all very soon with another video. Bye bye for now.